Hello guys, this is your friend. We are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Kushina takes neglected Naruto away from Konoha? Part 2. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Naruto walks back to the participants' booth, where the others all congratulate him on his victory. Dosu, Zaku, and Kankuro pound fists with him and or pat him on the back. Kin and Temari both give him a thumbs up and a smile. Yoroi shakes his hand. Gaara just nods his head. Well, your match is up next, Gaara. I wish both you and Yoroi luck. Over the last month, Naruto took the time to learn about Gaara. When he found out how similar they were, Naruto befriended Gaara, helping him to fix the void between him and his family. Gaara now considers Naruto his first, true friend. Thank you, Naruto. I'll fight to get through to the next round, so that we can face off. Looking forward to seeing you there, Gaara. No offense, Yoroi. None taken, Naruto. Even I know that I probably won't win. You Jinchuriki are in a league of your own. Naruto and Gaara both smirk at him. Genma brings everyone's attention back to the arena. The next match is between Gaara and Yoroi Akado. Will the two of you come down? The two leave the booth and head into the arena. Begin. Yoroi charges fast at Gaara, hoping to suck his chakra out before he can call his sand. However, Gaara's sand is faster. The sand wraps around Yoroi's hands and begins to spread up his arms, preventing him from forming hand signs. In just a few minutes, Yoroi is covered in sand from the shoulders down. He can't move any of his limbs and knows he can't defeat him. I surrender. Winner. Gaara. Gaara releases the sand. The two walk back to the booth. The crowd boos at how short the match had been. The Kazekage looks at the Hokage. Well, except for young Naruto, this tournament is now dominated by Suna and Oto Genin. Didn't have a good batch this year. No, I did, it's just that your teams proved to be better. This is one of these times I'm glad we're allies. The Hokage misses the look that passes over the Kazekage's face. Yes, I'm glad we're allies too. The Kazekage shares a look with the Otokage before they focus on the arena, where Genma is announcing the next match. Kankuro vs Zaku Abumi. Will the two of you come down? The two walk down to the arena. Begin. Zaku does some hand signs. Earth release. Earth flow river. The ground under Kankuro turns to mud, throwing him off balance. Zaku wastes no time. He charges at Kankuro and does some more hand signs. Earth release. Earth fist. His arm is coated in a layer of solidified earth. He punches Kankuro, sending him flying back, sending him crashing into the wall. When the smoke clears, it reveals that Kankuro pulled off the same trick he did in the prelims. Lying in the crater is a puppet. Zaku quickly whirls towards the bandaged object, to see the real Kankuro burst out of the bandages. Kankuro quickly makes his move, lifting his hands to reveal the chakra threads. Zaku realizes what Kankuro is doing and quickly jumps out of the way to avoid the poison kunai, shot by the puppet. He then thrusts his arms toward Kankuro. Decapitating airwaves. The blast hits Kankuro and his puppet, sending them back into the crater, making it deeper. The smoke clears, to reveal the puppet is still there, with a shredded log next to it. Zaku then feels a prick and turns to see Kankuro, holding one of the poison kunai. If you want the antidote, all you have to do is surrender. Zaku chuckles. You've beaten me, Kankuro. I surrender. Winner. Kankuro. Kankuro hands Zaku the antidote and the two return to the participants' booth. As they are leaving, a swirling mass of leaves appears in the arena. When it clears, it reveals both Kakashi and Sasuke. Are we late? You're just in time, Kakashi. Sasuke Uchiha's match is next. Will Temari please come down? Well, good luck, Sasuke. I'm sure you'll make Chunin. Kakashi. Apparently, the decision to have Sasuke put in the finals was made behind the Hokage's back. He is allowing Sasuke to participate, but he can't be promoted. What? I am an Uchiha. I have every right to be promoted. You lost in the prelims. By all the rules, you shouldn't even be participating in the finals. If you want to complain, take it up with the Hokage. Kakashi looks up at the cage booth and his eyes widen when he sees the Otokage. Kushina, you weren't here, Kakashi. Apparently, your other student Naruto, who kicked Neji's earlier, revealed that he is the son of the Otokage and the fourth Hokage. Kakashi stares at Genma in shock. Naruto is Minato-sensei and Kushina's son. Impossible. He's the Kyuubi. He killed Minato-sensei and Kushina's son. Sasuke is surprised. She is the Dobi's mother. Yet, she's so powerful. This could be perfect. I'll make her my wife and the Dobi will be my servant. It is the proper place in society for him, after all. Kushina stares darkly at Kakashi. Kakashi, you are one of the worst offenders of all. You purposely shirked your duties to protect Naruto when he was younger. You also did everything in your power to make sure he would end up as a pathetic ninja. I have something special planned for you. Kakashi is startled when Naruto calls out to him. Hey, Kakashi, get out of the arena so that we can watch the fights. Kakashi turns to yell at Naruto, but stops when he notices Naruto's new look. Kakashi, you do need to leave the arena. The match is about to start. He turns back to glare at Genma, before he teleports into the audience. Genma looks at both Temari, who entered during the whole thing, and Sasuke before he announces the match. The next match is Temari vs Sasuke Uchiha. Begin. Sasuke activates his Sharingan and does some hand signs. Fire release. Great fireball technique. Temari dodges it. Are you just a one-trick pony? Sickle weasel technique. Sasuke avoids the attack and prepares another one. Fire release. Phoenix Sage fire technique. Temari uses her fan to blow away the attack. Is that all you got? Sasuke smirks. Not even close. The curse mark pulses and black marks begin to spread all over his body. In the audience, Anko cries out in alarm. That fool. Naruto smirks. So, he's mastered my mom's little gift. This will probably ensure he makes it to the final match. He turns to Gaara. After the fight, the winner will probably have to face him. How do you feel about kicking Uchiha? Gaara shrugs. It doesn't matter to me. The upcoming fight with you will be far more entertaining. Naruto laughs and he turns to focus on the fight. The Hokage moves to stop the fight, but Kushina stops him. Why? Let him dig his own grave. If you stop him, those two elders and Danzo will do everything to make sure Sasuke gets away with just a slap on the wrist. Sasuke charges at Temari, moving much faster than before. He starts hitting her. She can't even defend herself. He kicks her, and she flies into the crater made by Neji earlier. He charges at her and just starts pounding the crap out of her. The Kazekage stands up in alarm. He's going too far. Stop him. The Hokage nods to Genma and he jumps in to restrain him. Anko, Kurenai, and Asuma all join him to restrain Sasuke, until he calms down and the seal shuts off. Winner. Sasuke Uchiha. Despite the fact he was brutally beating the crap out of the Kazekage's daughter, the crowd bursts out in cheers and applause. The Hokage sighs. I give up on them. The Kazekage, Otokage, Naruto, and the other participants are disgusted at the crowd. Sasuke points at Naruto. Mark my words, Dobi. I will defeat you in this tournament and prove my superiority over you. Naruto rolls his eyes as Sasuke walks to the participants' booth. The medics come and collect the battered Temari. The Kazekage wants to go check on her, but gets a look of reassurance from the Otokage. He trusts her, so he remains in his seat. Genma call the next match. Dosu Kinuta vs Kinsuchi. Will the two of you come down? The two look at each other and then both walk to the arena. Good luck, Dosu. You too, Kin. Begin. Dosu does some hand signs. Fire release. Great fireball technique. Sasuke is angered that someone else uses an Uchiha technique. Kin quickly counters with her own hand signs. Water release. Gunshot. The two attacks collide and create steam. Before the steam dissipates, they two begin fighting hand to hand. They fight like this for a few minutes before Kin jumps back and tries her bell genjutsu move. But Dosu slips in some earplugs, protecting him. He decides to go for a risky movie. Fire release. Phoenix Sage Fire technique. While the attack is heading for Kin, he does more hand signs. Fire release. Mist Blaze Dance technique. He blows a gas from his mouth. It comes into contact with the previous attack, just as it reaches Kin. The gas ignites and causes a big explosion. When the smoke dies down, it reveals Kin inside a sphere of water. Water prison technique. She releases the sphere and does more hand signs. Water release. Snake's mouth. A huge column of water appears. It takes on the form of a giant snake, with its mouth open. Dosu tries to escape, but the snake swallows him. The snake collapses into a river, which sweeps Dosu into one of the craters in the wall. Genma goes in to check Dosu and finds him unconscious. Winner. Kintsuchi. Dosu wakes up and realizes what's happened. Great job, Kin. When you first came on this team, you were the weakest of us. Look at you now. You've beaten me. Now, help me back to the booth. Kin smiles and helps Dosu to stand up. She walks him back to the booth where he sits down to rest. Genma addresses the crowd. With the first round of battles complete, we will take a break. This will allow the participants to recover and to give us time to clean up this water. Use this time to go to the bathroom, or get something to eat or drink. When we start up again, we'll go right into the next round of fights. The crowd start to get up. Naruto shares a look with Gaara. Their fight was up next. The son of the Kazekage versus the son of the Otokage. The Shukaku Jinchuriki versus the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. This will be a fight for the ages. The audience returned to their seats for the semifinals. With the water all cleaned up, the fights are ready to continue. Genma speaks up. Welcome back. We will proceed immediately with the semifinals. Due to the odd lineup, this first fight will determine the first finalist, while the remaining fights will determine the second one. Now then, the first match is between Naruto Uzumaki and Gaara. Both of you, come down. Naruto smirks as he unties the headband on his waist. No one notices that he covers the metal part with his hand. He pulls off his coat and reties the headband to his waist, again covering the metal part. Hey, Kankuro, look after my coat for me, will you? Sure thing, Naruto. Naruto walks down to the arena, where Gaara is already waiting. Good luck, Naruto. You too, Gaara. I'm just glad mom fixed your seal, or I might be stuck fighting Shukaku. Gaara smirks. Genma calls the start of the match. Begin. The sand pours out of Gaara's gourd. Naruto does some hand signs. Wind release. Great breakthrough. He applies fire chakra to turn it into a flamethrower. Gaara's sand forms a ball around him. The flames heat some of the sand, until it turns to glass and shatters. More sand quickly refills the hole that was made in the ball as a result. Come on, Naruto. You have to get through my sand defense to beat me. More sand shoots out from the sphere, forcing Naruto to dodge. You can do better than that, Naruto. Naruto keeps on dodging the sand. He does some hand signs. Wind release. Drilling air bullet. The blast blows another hole in the sand, which quickly refills. Sand is still shooting out at Naruto. He decides to use more hand signs. Water release. Water gun. He fires off enough of them to cover the entire sand ball, soaking it. He then pulls off another move. Wind release. Spiraling wind ball. He shot a few of them at Gaara. They made holes in his sand, but the holes were taking longer to fill up. Naruto takes advantage of this. Wind release. Drilling air bullet. A bigger hole is formed in the sand sphere. Naruto can now see Gaara. Wind release. Great breakthrough. The powerful gust forces Gaara through what's left of his sand sphere. He lands near the far wall. Naruto takes his advantage. By the time Gaara recovers, Naruto is standing above him, with another spiraling wind ball directly in front of Gaara's face. Surrender, Gaara, or this will go right through your head. Gaara nods his head in defeat. Very well, I surrender. Winner. Naruto Uzumaki. The crowd is silent. They don't want to cheer for Naruto, due to the Kyuubi, nor Gaara, due to the stories they heard from Suna civilians. Naruto whispers to Gaara, "Good thing we held back. If we were to go all out, we would destroy this arena along with some of the village." Naruto and Gaara walk back to the booth. Once there, Naruto retakes his coat and puts it back on, tying the blank headband, so that it circles around the coat again. In the cage booth, the cage looks at the Otokage. It seems congratulations are in order. Your son defeated mine. I'm proud of him, but you should be proud of your son, too. He's a powerful fighter. So true. Back in the arena, Genma speaks up. Due to the lineup, the next match will determine the opponent for Kankuro. The match is between Sasuke Uchiha and Kinsuchi. Come down, you two. I forfeit. Genma looks at Kin. Are you sure? Yes. After what he did to Temari, there's no way I want to fight a psychopath like him. Very well. Kinsuchi forfeits. Winner. Sasuke Uchiha. The crowd boos at Kin for not fighting and cheers for their precious Sasuke. This next fight will determine who faces Naruto Uzumaki in the finals. The match is between Kankuro and Sasuke Uchiha. I forfeit. Same reason as Kin. Genma sighs. Very well, Kankuro forfeits. Winner. Sasuke Uchiha. The crowd has the same reaction as before. We will now move on to the final fight. Naruto Uzumaki vs Sasuke Uchiha. Will the two of you come down? Naruto and Sasuke walk down to the arena and face off against each other. You'll pay for what you did to Temari, Sasuke. You think you can stop me, Dobi? I find it humorous that you threaten your future father-in-law. For you see, I will have your mother as my wife and she will sire me powerful children to reform the great Uchiha clan. As for you, I think I'll make you my personal slave and concubine. I will forcefully take you each night and enjoy it, just like I enjoyed Sakura. The crowd goes silent. Naruto, on the other hand, already knew about Sasuke's attempts to make Kushina his wife, as well as the fact he killed Sakura. Plus, he already suspected Sasuke was gay. But, he didn't know that Sasuke was gay for him. But he knows he can't look or say anything suspicious. You sick. You rape and kill Sakura, honestly think you can make a cage your wife, and say that you want to actually have with me. I'm going to bring you down, Tem. The elders are shocked. We were supporting a rapist. What have we done? Danzo is pissed. I go to all the trouble of covering up his crime and he admits it gladly. My backup idea is falling apart. Mrs. Haruno is crying. It's my fault. I told Sakura to pursue Sasuke and get him to be her husband. But he turns around, rapes her, and kills her. It's my fault. Mr. Haruno is pissed. He turns to look at his wife and they both have a silent agreement. He stands up and calls out to Naruto. Boy, this will probably be the only time I ask something of you, so don't mess it up. Kick the Uchihas. In the cage booth, Kushina is surprised. Well, I never would have expected them to call for Sasuke's death. Naruto looks at them in surprise, but nods to them. I was going to kick his anyway, but I'll be extra hard on him. Mr. Haruno nods and sits back down. The other people in the crowd are conflicted. To them, Sasuke was their god who could do no wrong, yet he just admitted to raping and killing the daughter of a well-known and loved merchant. They choose to stay silent. Genma starts the match. Begin. Sasuke activates his Sharingan, calls on the power of the curse mark, and does some hand signs. Fire release. Great fireball technique. Naruto decides to not hold back as much. He coats his hand in wind chakra and easily smacks the fireball aside, sending it into the wall. Is that all you got? Sasuke snarls. Fire release. Phoenix Sage Fire technique. Naruto coats his other hand in wind chakra and uses both hands to smack away all of the fireballs. Sasuke is enraged. Was all my training for nothing? He smacks my attacks aside so easily. No, I am an Uchiha. I am stronger than him. I will defeat him. Sasuke jumps back to the wall and does some hand signs. Everyone notices the sound of birds chirping. The Hokage looks in horror. I can't believe Kakashi taught him that technique. The Otokage is also surprised, but is still confident in her son. Chidori. Kakashi looks on in glee. Yes, Sasuke will use my technique to destroy the demon. Finally, Minato-sensei, Rin, and Obito can truly rest in peace. Sasuke charges at Naruto. Naruto sighs and blows some wind chakra into his hand. Wind release. Spiraling wind ball. He throws it, hitting Sasuke, who can't stop in time. He is sent into the wall and the Chidori fades away. He gets up and snarls. I need every ounce of power from this seal. He draws upon it all. The marks now cover 90% of his body. All that can be seen is a little bit of his face. His Sharingan seem to also be warping. This power is amazing. But it's not enough. I need more. The marks continues to spread, until they cover 100% of his body. He is now looking very demonic, when he suddenly cries out in pain. My body. What's happening to me? Naruto walks up to him and whispers in his ear. You shouldn't have been so eager to use that curse mark. You see, it was infused with some of the Kyuubi's chakra. Tell me, do you know why I was chosen to be the host as an infant? And yes, I know Kakashi told you. Sasuke looks at him in shock, but manages to shake his head, despite the pain he's feeling. Naruto continues to whisper. Well, normally demonic chakra can't be properly used by humans, due to the conflicts that arise between human and demon chakra. Also, the chakra coils must be adapted to use the chakra. I was chosen as an infant because my coils hadn't been fully formed yet, so they could still adapt to demon chakra. In other cases, the Uzumaki had designed a special seal that helps already formed chakra coils to adapt, by putting a special safety feature in their seals, as it was in the case of my mother, who was the previous host. In fact, that was how the Kyuubi chakra got in that seal. She still has some in her body. Anyway, getting back on track, that safety feature I mentioned isn't in your seal. Sasuke's eyes widen. That's right. Your body is being fed too much demon chakra for it to handle. The curse mark's power is eating you from the inside out. This is the price you pay for constantly craving power. The very power you crave will kill you, painfully. Enjoy dying, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke is horrified. This can't be. I was supposed to rebuild the Uchiha clan using the Dobi's mother. I can't die, yet. I haven't killed Itachi. I need to avenge the great Uchiha. I can't die. I'm the god of Konoha. I can't die. Sasuke screams as the dark power bursts through his chest. The audience watches in horror as the dark chakra burns him alive. It takes less than a minute, before Sasuke drops to the ground, dead. No one notices the dark power transfer to Naruto, due to the fact the demon chakra is drawn to its source, the Kyuubi. Naruto turns away from Sasuke. Winner. Naruto Uzumaki. Medics come to collect the corpse, as the Hokage, Kazekage, and Otokage talk for a few minutes, before teleporting down to the arena. The remaining contestants in the booth are called down. With the fights finished, all that's left to do is reveal the people who will be promoted. When I call your name, step forward. The genin nod. Kin Tsuchi. Kin steps forward with a smile on her face. Dosu Kinuta. It's hard to tell Dosu's expressing, due to the fact you can only see his right eye. Kankuro. Kankuro smirks. Gaara. Gaara's face is impassive. And last, but not least, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto smiles. The crowd grumbles at the fact Naruto was promoted. Thank you all for participating in these exams. For those who weren't promoted, I can only wish you better luck next time in the exams. I officially declare these exams complete. Suddenly, a genjutsu is cast on the crowd, putting them all to sleep. At the same time, an explosion can be heard over at the village walls. Kushina speaks up. I forgot to tell you one thing, old man. Before me, Orochimaru was the Otokage. He taught me everything he knew and I promised him that I would complete his dream by destroying Konoha. This village will be destroyed. Hiruzen quickly jumps away from Kushina. He looks at Naruto. Naruto, protect your Hokage. Naruto doesn't move towards Hiruzen. Instead, he moves his hands to the two headbands he's wearing, and dispels the hinges on them. The Konoha headband on his head is revealed to be an Odo headband. The blank headband on his waist is revealed to be his real Konoha headband, but there is a scratch mark through the symbol of Konoha. Hiruzen's eyes widen. Naruto then walks over to stand at the side of Kushina, who wraps an arm around him. Kushina grins evilly at Hiruzen. Sorry, old man. Naruto stands at my side, where he belongs. Her eyes turn serpent yellow and she pulls off the Otokage robes, to reveal the violet battle dress she's wearing. Hiruzen looks at the Kazekage, who also stands near Kushina. You are betraying our alliance. The Kazekage snorts. Your village has been stealing all our missions. This is my revenge. Kushina laughs. Face it, old man. This is the end of Konohagakure, and you can't do anything to save it. The ninja in the audience quickly break free of the genjutsu, just in time to hear Kushina's declaration, shocking all of them. Kakashi, Kurenai, Yugao, and Hana quickly jump down into the arena, while the Kazekage begins fighting with the Hokage. Kushina looks at them and smirks. Well, if it isn't the traitors to my family. They are shocked at what she just said in her eyes. Kurenai speaks for the group. What are you talking about, Kushina-senpai? We're not traitors. We're happy to see you alive. Why would we be traitors? Kushina can't believe what she is hearing. You mean, you really don't know? Have you all not been listening through these exams? Or have you all forgotten the things you did to my son, Naruto Uzumaki? Kurenai, Yugao, and Hana immediately realize what she's pissed at them about. Kakashi, on the other hand, lashes out. He is not your son. Your son died on that night. He is the Kyuubi, the monster responsible for killing Minato-sensei, as well as so many others. Kushina focuses her glare on Kakashi. And what makes you so knowledgeable in the subject? Who told you this ridiculous story of Naruto being the Kyuubi? The wise elders and the great Uchiha. That means they must be right. You would trust the words of two of the biggest assholes in this village, as well as a clan of petty thieves over the word of the Hokage. Keep in mind that neither group knows anything about sealing. Of course. And don't disrespect the elite clan of Uchiha. Naruto snorts. The so-called elite clan are all dead, except for a traitor. Shut up, demon brat. It's your fault Minato-sensei, Rin, and Obito are all dead. I'll make you pay. Everyone looks at Kakashi in confusion, until Kushina realizes what's going on. He's been utterly consumed by his hate and his obsession over those three. I know just what to do with him. Kushina grins at Kakashi. I think it's time for you to have a reunion, don't you think, Kakashi? A barrier springs up, preventing anyone from interfering with whatever Kushina has planned. The Konoha ninja look to see the sound for maintaining the barrier. She does some hand signs. Summoning. Impure world resurrection. 3 coffins rise from the ground. The lids spring open to reveal 3 people Kakashi never thought he would see again. Minato-sensei, Rin, Obito. Kushina laughs. If the 4th Hokage had actually sacrificed his own soul to the Shinigami, I wouldn't be able to summon him. However, he was a coward, and forced another Konoha ninja to give their life instead. However, he was still too injured to live after the fight. Minato, Rin, and Obito look around. Minato notices Kushina. Kushina, what's going on? And what happened to your eyes? Kushina laughs again. It's been a long time, my dear husband. Rin looks at Minato. Minato-sensei, what's going on? I think we were summoned from the dead, with that technique the second Hokage created. However, what shocks me is that I think Kushina here did it. Oh, don't be shocked. I did summon you. Why, Kushina, what's going on? Why don't you ask Naruto? Minato notices Naruto. Naruto, you look well, son. Don't call me that. You're no father of mine. You condemned me to a life of hell. If it wasn't for my mom, I would still be in that hell. Minato looks at Kushina in confusion. You should ask Kakashi and the others. Ask on how Konoha treated Naruto, as if he was the Kyuubi incarnate. He is the Kyuubi. He must die. Minato stares at Kakashi in shock. But, Naruto was supposed to be treated like a hero. They all failed at that, miserably. They couldn't see that he was just a boy. He's been beaten, tortured, isolated, and he might have possibly been raped. He's even attempted suicide multiple times. If I hadn't intervened, Naruto might be dead. Minato looks at Naruto to see him looking at the ground. Kakashi lashes out again. It was what he deserved. He is a demon. Demons deserve to be punished. This is what you did, Minato. I warned you about what would happen if you went through with sealing the Kyuubi. But no, all you cared about was making Konoha look good. All you cared about was power. This is the price you paid, 4th Hokage. Your precious village will be destroyed, and you will help destroy it. The resurrected trio are in shock. But first, I'll have you three kill the one who threatened my son the most. The only remaining member of your team. The one who refused to move on with his life, after your deaths. You three will kill Kakashi Hatake. She flings 3 kunai, with a special talisman on each, directly into the heads of the resurrected trio. They feel the loss of control over their bodies as the full color to their bodies is restored. The barrier is dropped. You three heard me. Destroy Kakashi Hatake. After that, destroy Konoha. We're sorry, Kakashi. The trio charge at Kakashi and begin to fight him. The Sound 4 restore the barrier around the fight, so that no one can interfere. Kushina turns her attention to the 3 women. As for you 3, I'll deal with you myself. Naruto, Gaara, you 2 have your targets. The 2 nod and jump away. Now then, it's time to face your punishment. Scene change. The 2 elders ran from the arena the moment they broke free. They don't get very far, when a familiar blonde with a fan stops them. Weren't you beaten up by the Uchiha? Asks Homura. I had a very good healer fix me up. Scene change. Jiraiya is rushing over to the village walls, to assist with the invasion, when a fist hits him in the face. He is sent crashing into a building. He gets back up to see the last person he expected to see. Tsunade. Scene change. Kakashi is having a hard time, defending himself from the 3 people that mean the most to him. The trio press up their attack, but still have their personalities, so they can talk to Kakashi. Why, Kakashi? Why did you treat my son like shit? Minato-sensei, that thing isn't your son. He's the Kyuubi. Do you honestly think that I would seal the Kyuubi in my own son, if it meant that it would gain his body? If that was the case, it would have just simply destroyed Naruto's body and retaken its own form. Kakashi doesn't get to ponder that as he dodges a strike from Obito. But the elders in the Uchiha clan told me that the Kyuubi had taken over the body and the original soul was dead. They are always right. Then why didn't the Kyuubi just burst free of its human shell? Because the seal prevented it. Was it cause the elders in the Uchiha clan said so? Of course. Obito speaks up. What happened to you, Kakashi? You weren't like this when I was alive. You never praised my power-hungry clan. Hell, I would always complain about how they were obsessed with gaining power and status. I always constantly refused to use my Sharingan. After you died, I realized how wrong you were about the clan. They are the greatest clan, with the holy Dojutsu, one which I am proud to have, the Sharingan. You forget one thing. That is my eye in your socket. While I am being forced to kill you, I don't think you should have that eye anymore. Kakashi is shocked to see Rin nod in agreement, as they continue fighting. What no one realizes, is that Kushina established a mental link with the resurrected trio, allowing her to hear their thoughts. She grins as she lessens the hold she has on Rin and Obito. They will still kill him, but they can control the method of killing him. So, if Obito wants to rip his eye out of Kakashi, he can do so. Obito grabs onto Kakashi. Rin makes her move and removes the Sharingan eye from Kakashi. Kakashi screams in pain as the blood pours out of his empty socket. Kushina decides to improve Obito's ability to fight. Put the eye back where it belongs, Rin. Rin receives the mental command and implants the eye into Obito's left eye socket. Kakashi watches in horror as Obito activate his Sharingan eyes, now that he has both again. Kushina re-tightens her hold on the two, so they have no chance of escaping her command to kill Kakashi. Kakashi manages to break free of Rin and jumps back a distance, a hand over his empty socket. The trio charge in again. Kakashi isn't able to hold them off for long, as he's in pain from the loss of the Sharingan eye. They begin cutting him up. Blood spurts as Kakashi falls to the ground. Please, stop. The trio pause, but a mental command from Kushina has them speak. I'm sorry Kakashi, did you say something? Rin uses a move to paralyze Kakashi. Obito uses a fire technique to set Kakashi on fire. Kakashi screams in pain. Minato silences him with a Rasengan to the head. Kakashi lays dead, killed by the very people he constantly mourned. The Sound 4 drop the barrier and the trio turn to begin their other mission, to destroy Konoha. Scene change. While the resurrected trio were fighting Kakashi, Kushina faces down Kurenai, Hana, and Yugao. You three realize that I will kill you. You might as well let it happen. We didn't know he was your son, Kushina-senpai. If we knew, we wouldn't have treated him like we did. That's no excuse. You shouldn't treat anyone like that. Let me tell you three a secret. Before Naruto was the host for the Kyuubi, the beast was sealed inside me. That was the reason I was brought to Konoha in the first place. To be the second host for the Kyuubi. All three women are in shock at what she said, until Hana notices something. Wait, you said you were the second host. Who was the first? Another member of the Uzumaki clan. Her name was Mito Uzumaki. You all knew her as the wife of Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage. That's right, the Kyuubi has always been a captive of Konoha since the fight against Madara Uchiha, sealed within members of the Uzumaki clan, all connected to at least one of the Hokages. The three find it hard to digest what Kushina has said. Now that you understand, it's time for you to die. Kushina does two hand signs. Hidden shadow snake hands. She thrusts her arms forward, and snakes shoot out from them. Kurenai and Hana dodge the snakes. Yugao cuts them with her sword. Oh, so you want to use swords, huh? Very well. Kushina reaches into her mouth and pulls out the Kusanagi sword. Let's do this. She charges at Yugao. Unfortunately for Yugao, she didn't recognize the Kusanagi. The sword slices through her katana and through her neck. Yugao's lifeless body and severed head fall to the ground. Kurenai and Hana stare in horror. Kushina takes advantage of their distracted state. She shoots more snakes from her arms and they snag Hana. Hana screams as the snakes crawl all over her and bite her. Her flailing to get them off allows the venom to spread quickly. She drops to the ground, paralyzed, but still alive. Kurenai is terrified as Kushina turns to look at her. Kushina's yellow eyes glare deep into Kurenai's red ones. What's wrong, Kurenai? Afraid? Kurenai can't help but nod. Ah, poor little Kurenai. I'll have to fix that. Kushina charges at Kurenai, fast. The next thing Kurenai knows, she is screaming in pain as her left arm is severed above the elbow. What's wrong, Kurenai? Does it hurt? Kurenai is clutching the stump, where her arm was. Don't worry, I'll make it better. She charges in again and Kurenai screams out as her other arm is severed. Kushina charges at Kurenai again, severing her legs above the knees. Kurenai's torso falls to the ground, still alive. How does it feel, to have your limbs severed? You're only feeling some of the pain that Naruto has felt his entire life. But I can be merciful. I'll end your pain now. She slices her sword through Kurenai's neck, decapitating her. Kushina licks the blood off her sword, letting out an erotic moan. Delicious. She turns her focus onto the paralyzed Hana, who is watching her in horror. I almost forgot about you, time to end this. She stabs the sword right through Hana's heart and leaves Hana to bleed to death. She turns her focus to the resurrected trio, who are still fighting Kakashi. A few minutes later, they kill him and the Sound 4 drop the barrier. As the trio prepare to carry out the destruction of Konoha, Kushina stops them. She tightens her hold on Rin and Obito to the point in which their personalities fade away. She leaves Minato as he is. Considering these two were dead by the time of the Kyuubi attack, I'm sparing them the memories of destroying Konoha. You, on the other hand, will be forced to remember in death as the shinobi and civilians die at your hand, 4th Hokage. But, I'll give you three some extra help. She does some hand signs. Summoning. Impure World Resurrection. Two more coffins spring out of the ground. Their lids open to reveal Hashirama and Tobirama Senju, the first and second Hokages. Kushina throws two more kunai into their heads. Their personalities fade and they move to stand next to the other three. Now then, all five of you will go out and destroy Konoha. Kill any Konoha shinobi and civilian you encounter. You can spare the children, though. The five leave the arena to fulfill their orders. Minato has a sad look on his face. The sound four go with them. Kushina turns and notices Anko is still in the audience. She clearly broke the genjutsu, but she was just sitting there. Kushina jumps up to her. Aren't you going to defend your village, Anko? Anko looks up at Kushina. It isn't much of a village. Besides, you're going to kill me, right? Hurry up and get it over with. Kushina is surprised, but can tell there is more going on. What happened? Those damn elders found notes to the curse seal that Orochimaru gave me. They've been controlling me, via the seal. They force me to do their dirty work, always threatening me with a slow and painful death. I know you also hold hatred for Naruto, and I can't find a reason for it. Care to explain? The elders and Danzo wanted to turn Naruto into their weapon, but in case that didn't work, they were going to have him procreate a child with me. They thought if they couldn't have him, they would have his child, who would be made the next host of the Kyuubi. That way, they could guarantee that they get their weapon. I couldn't help but have hatred for Naruto, even though I don't see him as the Kyuubi. No, that's wrong. I didn't hate Naruto. I hated the fact I would be used as breeding stock. Kushina has a look of anger in her face. She remembers, when Kumo tried to kidnap her, when she was younger. She knew that if they had succeeded, they would have used her as breeding stock. She can't help but feel a little sympathetic towards Anko, and decides to give her a choice. She lunges forward, biting into the curse mark on Anko's neck. Anko screams as the mark begins to warp and change. Kushina withdraws from Anko as the curse mark takes on a new form. I'm giving you a choice, Anko. That new curse mark is different from the old one. It's more powerful and better. Also, the elders can't affect this seal, as it's one I created. You can either die here, at my hand, or join Otogakur and help me destroy Konoha. What will you do? Anko rubs her neck over the new curse mark as she thinks. Her life since she returned has been nothing but scrutiny and suspicious looks. People always refer to her as the snake whore, and treat her horribly. For her, the choice was clear. I'll join you. Good. Then go forth and destroy this pathetic village, Anko. Anko leaves the arena. Kushina turns back to where the cage is still fighting the third Hokage. Time for me to help the cage. Jiraiya stares at Tsunade, surprised that she was even in Konoha. It's been a long time, Jiraiya. Tsunade, what are you doing here? Never mind, it's good you're here. Konoha is being invaded. Help me defend the west wall. Jiraiya turns to leave, but notices that Tsunade is not moving to follow him. She shakes her head at him. Sorry, Jiraiya, I'm on the other side. What? You heard me. What are you talking about? You're a loyal Konoha ninja. Not anymore. Explain. Well, after I left when Dan and Nawaki were dead, I went from town to town with Shizune, drinking and gambling. A month later, I heard about the Kyuubi attack and how my last living cousin and student, Kushina, and her son had been labeled as deceased. Naturally, that didn't improve my drinking and gambling habits. 11 years later, I was surprised when I was tracked down by Kushina, who was supposed to be dead. I was also surprised to learn that her son was still alive. She told about how Naruto was taken from her. About how she was sold off to Orochimaru. About Konoha's plans to turn Naruto into a weapon. About how Naruto was beaten, tortured, among others things. About how he was denied the basic knowledge of his family for a bullshit reason. About how he had no one to help him while he was growing up. About how you abandoned your own godson, to go chase after a sick, twisted traitor. Why should I care about him? Just because he's my godson doesn't mean I have to care. Him being your godson should be reason enough. It isn't to me. Now, can we get off of this? Tell me why you switched sides. Isn't it obvious? Konoha betrayed the last of my family. Family is always important. Isn't that what your toads always say? So, what? The toads don't know what they're talking about. Family is meaningless. They think of me as a part of their family. I only think of them as tools. That's the only thing they're good for. Serving me in battle. Tsunade smirks. You shouldn't have said that. Why not? Simple. I had the slugs contact the toads. When they last called you there, the toads placed a listening device in your pocket. They just heard everything you said. Jiraiya's eyes widen in horror. He hears the sound of a summoning behind him. He turns around to see Shima, Fukasaku, Gambunta, and the great toad sage glaring at him. Jiraiya boy, when we heard from the slugs about how you had turned your back on our beliefs, we found it hard to believe. Now after hearing what you just said, it's obvious that you are unfit to be our summoner. Therefore, after much deliberation with Shima, Fukasaku, and Gambunta, we have decided to cast you out. Your name will be removed from the scroll. The knowledge of how to find MT, Myoboku, how to summon S, and how to use your sage mode will be taken from you, never to be given back. This is our decision. You can't do this to me. I am the great Jiraiya. Two toads appear and grab onto Jiraiya. He tries to break free, but their grip is too strong. The great toad sage places a hand on Jiraiya. Jiraiya screams in pain as the knowledge of the toads is ripped from his mind. When he is done, the two toads let go and disappear. Jiraiya falls to the ground. The toads then summon the scroll. The great toad sage wipes his hand over Jiraiya's name. The scroll catches on fire, but when the fire fades away, the scroll is unharmed, except Jiraiya's name has been burned off. Gambunta turns to Tsunade. Thanks for telling the slugs to inform us about this. It's obvious Konoha is no longer worthy of us. We would help you, but that involves working with the snakes, and you know how we feel about working with the snakes. Tsunade nods. We will depart now, never to return until we deem a summoner worthy of us. Goodbye. The toads vanish. Jiraiya manages to get to his feet. He angrily turns to Tsunade. What have you done? You've taken away my most powerful weapon. You have truly turned your back on Konoha. I will kill you, you traitor. Says the man who was a traitor to the toads and to Kushina's family. You're the one who's going to die. When Kushina recruited me, she gave me the privilege of taking you out. Plus, unlike you, I have the slugs to assist me, and I think of them as family, unlike what you did with the toads. Jiraiya snarls and jumps at her. Scene change. Danzo sits in his root base, after having run there from the arena when the attack began. Damn it. I should never have given that woman to Orochimaru. Now, it's come back to bite me in the. One of his root Anbu runs up. Sir, what should we do? Prepare to evacuate. Konoha is too far gone. Once the fight is over, we'll rebuild it the way it should have been built. I will take on the role of Hokage and remake the village so that it follows my regime. Once Konoha has been restored, we will launch an assault on the other countries, until they are all under my control. I will stand as the ruler of this world, and no one will stop me. Yes, sir. The root Anbu leaves to do his master's bidding, when he suddenly screams, and he is thrown back through the door, dead. Danzo stands up as Naruto walks into the room. Leaving so soon, you bandage bastard. Scene change. At the west wall of Konoha, the ninja moved to fight back the forces from Suna. Suddenly, Some of the men are shot with poison kunai. The remaining men turn to see Kankuro with his puppet next to him. They move to attack him, when they are struck by a powerful wind attack. Kankuro looks to see Temari. Hey, weren't you supposed to deal with those two old bats? They were both old and neither had trained in years. They were so out of shape, that it was too easy. Where's Gaara? Preparing to awaken the Shukaku. Scene change. Gaara sits in the center of the village, in a meditative position. He finds himself in his mindscape, shaped like a ruined desert palace. The Shukaku stares at him from his prison. Is it time? Gaara looks at him. Yes. Outside, Gaara's body begins to float in the air, as the sand emerges from the gourd and surrounds him. It begins to merge with him, transforming him into a giant one-tailed beast. Yahoo! I get to destroy this village. Fun time. The Shukaku begins to lay waste to Konoha. Scene change. At the north wall, Kabuto, along with the Odo team, are killing the ninja there, so that the Odo forces can enter the village. They all turn when they hear the Shukaku. Well, now the party's really started. Scene change. Danzo stares down Naruto in the root base. You think you can defeat me, boy? It would be wiser for you to surrender to me and become my loyal weapon. You honestly think I would join you? My loyalty is to my mother, and no one else. Danzo laughs. That can change easily. All I have to do is capture you. A few years as my prisoner will change your views. That's if you can capture me. Danzo laughs. Root, come to me. Danzo laughs at the knowledge that his root Anbu will take down the Kyuubi child, when he notices that none of them are coming. He looks at Naruto to see him with an evil smirk. They're all dead. I killed them all before coming to this office. We are the only living people in this base. Danzo's eyes widen. Now that you understand, it's time for you to die, you bastard. Scene change. Tsunade and Jiraiya are locked in a taijutsu battle. Jiraiya is pissed. Thanks to this bitch, I've lost just about all of my techniques. How the hell can I beat her? He barely manages to dodge a kick. When Tsunade gets him with one of her chakra-enhanced punches, he is sent flying through some buildings until he comes to a rest inside of a clothes shop. He stumbles back out, and pulls off the bra that somehow got stuck on him. At that moment he feels a fist in his gut, courtesy of Tsunade. He falls to the ground, coughing and clutching his gut. Face it, Jiraiya, you can't win. Without your toad abilities, all you have left are your hair ninjutsu and the Rasengan. Just surrender. Never. Jiraiya leaps at Tsunade, but she punches him in the face. He flies back into the store. He gets back up on his feet and charges a familiar attack. Rasengan. He charges at Tsunade. Tsunade sighs as she dodges the attack and strikes Jiraiya with her hand. Jiraiya gasps as he falls to the ground. I've disrupted the signals from your brain to your nervous system. Basically, your body is now responding wrong to what your brain tells you to. If you want to move your right arm, something else will move instead. Give up, Jiraiya, you can't beat me. Never. Very well. Since you can't move properly, I'll just end this now. Goodbye, Jiraiya. I hope you enjoy burning in hell. Tsunade jumps into the air. Painful sky leg. Jiraiya tries to move out of the way, but all he succeeds in doing is turning his head to the left and raising his right arm. Tsunade's heel crashes onto Jiraiya's head, destroying him instantly. Blood and guts fly everywhere, as what's left of Jiraiya stops moving. Tsunade shakes the bit of Jiraiya's brain off her shoe and turns to look at an explosion that came from a different area of Konoha. Looks like Naruto is having fun. Scene change. Danzo jumps out of the remains of his base, having used the Izanagi to avoid death. His bandages are gone, revealing a Sharingan, and his right arm is exposed, revealing 10 Sharingan embedded in the arm. Damn it, when did the brat get this powerful? Naruto jumps out of the wreckage and stands facing Danzo. Is that all you got, Danzo? No wonder you're so desperate to make me your slave. 'Cause then you would have some actual power at your disposal. Danzo growls as he does some hand signs. Wind release. Vacuum wave. Naruto smirks as the attack hits him. He vanishes in a puff of smoke. A shadow clone. Water release. Water dragon bullet technique. What? Danzo turns to see a water dragon charging at him. He doesn't have time to dodge, but quickly triggers Izanagi again. The attack passes through him. How did you do that technique? Naruto smirks. I first saw the technique when Kakashi and Zabuza fought. With help from my mom, I was able to perform it. As for where the water came from, did you forget you had an underground lake in your base? Danzo growls in anger. You can't go on for too long, can you, Danzo? Repeatedly using that Izanagi of yours really eats up your chakra. Danzo is angry because Naruto is right. With the way his Sharingan are set up, he could use the Izanagi for a full 10 minutes. The problem was that he didn't have the chakra for it. Naruto smirks again as he pulls out a kunai. He blows wine chakra on it, making the kunai look more like a makeshift scimitar. He charges at Danzo with his wind-enhanced weapon. Danzo triggers the Izanagi again, but he doesn't have enough chakra to maintain it. He falls to one knee as Naruto reaches him. Danzo screams in pain as his right arm falls to the ground, cut at the shoulder. Blood pours onto the ground from the wound. Oh, sorry. Did that hurt? Then again, you didn't deserve that arm of yours. I mean, really. 10 Sharingan and the first Hokage's DNA. You should be ashamed of the atrocities you've committed, Danzo. I took the measures needed to secure Konoha's future. My way is the only way the world can be at peace. No, your way is the only way you can have the power you desire. You're a lot like Sasuke Uchiha and Orochimaru. Always craving power. Always thinking that power is all that matters in this world. In a way, you're right. Power will help you go a long way, but you need to earn the power, not steal it. You can't properly use stolen power. That's why you can't use the Izanagi for the full 10 minutes. That's why you've failed to beat me. You are pathetic, Danzo Shimura. You're a man who honestly believes that war is the only way to peace. All your ambitions have resulted in, is that you will die by my hand. However, I'm going to have some fun with killing you. He jumps at Danzo with a normal kunai and stabs Danzo into his right eye. Danzo screams as his last Sharingan is ripped right out of his socket. Naruto holds the Sharingan in his hand. So this is the Sharingan. The dojutsu that this entire village worships. I don't see what's so spectacular about it. I mean, it's so easily destroyed. He crushes the eye in his hand, covering it in blood. Naruto raises his hand to his mouth and takes a lick of the blood. He spits it back out. Yuck. Uchihas have disgusting blood, and the women of this village wanted to produce children with this blood. If any of the Konoha 12 were watching this, they would be shocked at the sadistic side that Naruto was showing. But Kushina had already gotten to work on Naruto, twisting and corrupting him. Danzo glares at Naruto with his normal eye. Damn you, brat. You won't get away with this. I will become Hokage and destroy you. Naruto looks at Danzo. Oh, you're still talking. I guess I need to shut you up. Naruto charges at Danzo again. Danzo is too tired to stop Naruto as he reaches into his mouth. Using a bit of the Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto rips Danzo's tongue out of his mouth. Danzo screams in pain as his mouth is flooded with blood. That's better. Now I won't have to put up with your damn speeches. Naruto charges with the enhanced kunai, cutting off Danzo's remaining limbs and cutting up his body. Danzo lies on the ground, in constant pain. Naruto looks down at him. You should never have taken my mom from me. This invasion is the result of what you did. Danzo looks at Naruto's eyes and is horrified by what he sees. Naruto's eyes are no longer the normal, blue eyes that everyone knows him to have. His eyes have turned a very familiar shade of red, and they have taken the shape of a certain demon's eyes. You know, I used to declare that I would never use the Kyuubi's power, but now he and I have come to an understanding. I'm no longer afraid to use his power. Hell, the Kyuubi has declared me to be his favorite host, due to my new sadistic side. And now he's given me a good idea of how to kill you, right now. Naruto shoves his hand into Danzo's chest and rips something out. Danzo is horrified to see that it's his own heart. Naruto channels the Kyuubi's chakra into the heart, burning it to ashes. He then pours the Kyuubi's chakra into the hole in Danzo's chest. Danzo screams as the demonic chakra destroys him from the inside, burning all of his organs and destroying his flesh. When Naruto is finished, there isn't much left of the corpse. Naruto takes a moment to destroy the Sharingan arm he cut off earlier. Now then, where did the rest of the Konoha 12 run off to? They were probably assigned to evacuate the remaining civilians to the bunker inside the Hokage monument. I can wait to deal with them. Right now, taking the village is the most important thing to do. Naruto jumps off to help with the takeover, leaving behind a mutilated corpse. Minato fails to hold back tears as he uses the Rasengan to destroy a building. He still can't believe that Konoha basically said, "You," to his last wish regarding Naruto. He also can't believe how much Kushina has changed. He turns and cuts down a Konoha ninja. He can see the second Hokage drowning another group of ninja with a water technique. Tayuya speaks up. Well, that takes care of this fucking area. On to the next one. Before they can leave, they are surrounded by the heads of all the clans. None of you are going anywhere. Sakin sneers at Hiashi. You really think you can take down 3 Hokages? Destroy them. The 3 Hokages step forward. Minato looks at the clan heads. I'm sorry. The Hokages charge at the group. Scene change. While most of the civilians have been evacuated to the bunker in the Hokage monument, there are still some in the village. At the ramen stand, Tsuki and Ayame are packing up everything in their shop, trying to save it all before the stand gets hit. Anyone home? The two turn to see Naruto enter the stand. Are you here to kill us, Naruto? Why would I do that? Because you've turned against the village. Let's face it, it would have happened eventually. We won't go down without a fight, Naruto. Who said anything about fighting? You're not here to kill us. Of course not. You two are special to me. I'm here to help get you guys to safety. Then you'll set up a new shop in Oto. Why would we go with you? 3 reasons. 1. You guys love me and wouldn't turn against me. 2. You're disgusted, just like me, with how the people here are. 3. While having me as your customer reduced the number of customers you got here in Konoha, due to the Kyuubi, the number will increase over in Oto, due to me being the Otokage's son. Tsuki and Ayame look at each other. You know he's right, Dad. Yes I do, Ayame. Keep packing. We're moving to Otogakure. Naruto smiles at the two. Scene change. The 3rd Hokage has been locked in a fight with the Kazekage for a while now. Hiruzen quickly dodges a gold dust wave. Damn, even though he can only use his gold dust attacks, he's really good at using them. Come on, Hokage. You're supposed to be strong. I think age has gotten to you. Hiruzen snarls and dodges another attack. He then quickly jumps to the left to avoid the Kusanagi sword. Mind the extra help, Kazekage. Don't mind it at all, Otokage. Even though I don't think I need the help, I'll take it anyway. Kushina lowers her head to the ground. Formation of 10,000 snakes. Countless snakes pour out of her mouth. They rise up and sword blades extend from their mouths. They all charge at Hiruzen. Fire release. Fire dragon flame bullet. Flames spew from Hiruzen's mouth. They take the shape of 3 dragons, which attack the snakes from different sides. All the snakes are turned to ashes. He then throws a shuriken at the pair. Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. The shuriken multiplies into 1,000 shuriken. Wind release. Great breakthrough. The gust of wind from Kushina causes the shuriken to be blown away. Earth release. Earth flow river. The ground near Hiruzen turns to mud. Earth release. Earth dragon bullet. A mud dragon head rises from the mud that Hiruzen created moments ago. As it starts to fire mud projectiles at the 2 other cages, Hiruzen pulls off one last move. Fire release. Fire dragon bullet. Hiruzen shoots more fire from his mouth. It ignites the mud projectiles the dragon head is shooting, turning them into flame projectiles. However, the cage thought ahead. Gold dust wall. A wall of gold dust rises in front of the duo. The projectiles hit the wall and do no damage. Hiruzen bites his thumb and does some more hand signs. Summoning technique. The Monkey King Enma appears in a puff of smoke. What's going on, Hiruzen? The cage and a red-haired woman. Wait, isn't she the fourth Hokage's wife? It's a long story, Enma. Right now, those two are trying to destroy Konoha. We need to defeat them. I need the staff. I hope you know what you're doing, Hiruzen. Transformation. Adamantine staff. Enma transforms himself into a staff. The Hokage charges at the two other cages. They both jump to dodge. The cage constricts some gold dust together to form a club. Kushina readies the Kusanagi sword. The three charge at each other again. Scene change. Shikaku jumps back to the damage. He looks in horror at the corpse of Choza, impaled by wood everywhere on his body. Shibi and his bugs had been drowned in a powerful water technique. Inoichi's body lays on the ground with a hole in his chest from a Rasengan. The only ones left are himself, Sum, and Hiashi. This is troublesome. No matter how hard we hit them, their bodies repair themselves and they come back for more. You're supposed to be smart, Shikaku. Got any bright ideas? Unfortunately, no. Minato walks forward towards them. Why did you guys treat Naruto the way you did? Why did you disregard my last wish? Hiashi sneers. In this society, he is at the bottom. It would sully the Hyuga's reputation if we were to help that little demon. Minato looks at Shikaku. What about you? Shikaku shrugs. My wife thinks he's a demon. I never go against her. She's too scary to defy. Minato looks at Sum. The little brat is a demon. I can smell the scent of foxes on him. Therefore, he is the Kyuubi. All Jinchuruki smell like the biju they contain. The scent of the biju is stronger than the natural scent of the host. Using just scent to judge him is foolish. So what? Minato looks at the three. Those are the most idiotic and bullshit reasons to let Naruto suffer. At least my reason for sealing him was justified. Hell, I was planning on living so that I could raise him. If I hadn't died, Naruto would have been raised properly. I would have made sure of that. He charges at the three. Scene change. Iruka is helping another group of villagers to get to the bunker, when they are cut off by Anko. Sorry, Iruka. You and these villagers are going to die. Why? Similar reason as Naruto. This village treated us both like shit, even with anything either of us tried to do to change that. Whose side are you on, Iruka? Even though I care about Naruto's welfare, my loyalty to my village comes first. I have to stand against you. Very well, Iruka. Scene change. Hiruzen has been trading blows with the cage, while dodging the sword strikes from Kushina. However, he is at a disadvantage. The cage and Kushina are both still young, while Hiruzen is past his prime. He knows it's only a matter of time before Kushina strikes him with the sword. Give up, old man. Your village is on the verge of death. You can't win. As long as one person survives, the will of fire lives on. The will of fire died out years ago, when the fourth Hokage took office. Other than you, there isn't a single person in this village that believes in it anymore. Damn you. Hiruzen jumps away from them. Damn it. Now that Kushina has Orochimaru's abilities, it's really hard to beat her. I can defend myself from the ones I knew he had, but what else can I do? He holds out the staff. Adamantine prison wall. The Enma staff duplicates himself until all the staffs surround Hiruzen in the form of a cage. Good luck getting in. Kushina starts laughing. What's so funny? It's amusing. You decided on your defense while thinking of Orochimaru's techniques. You've forgotten something important. What's that? My own techniques, including my adeptness at controlling water. As you should remember, my control over water rivals the second Hokage. So I can do things, such as controlling the little bits of water in the air and in the ground. Hiruzen's eyes widen as water shoots up from underground, causing the cage and Enma to dispel and shooting Hiruzen into the air. Suddenly, he is ensnared by chains. He looks to see the chains are coming out of Kushina's back. I'm sure you forgot about my chakra chains as well. The chains lower Hiruzen so that he is in front of the other two cages. The cage starts beating the crap out of the Hokage. Kushina just sits back, letting the cage vent his anger. Eventually, the cage steps back. Kushina winces a little. Hiruzen has been beaten to a pulp. His left eye is popped out of the socket and just dangling. He's bleeding from every orifice on his face. Wow, I didn't know you were this pissed, cage. The loss of missions to Konoha has been going on for over a year, Otokage. The anger builds up. Stop this, please. Kushina glares at Hiruzen. Why should we stop? It's too late for this village. We intend to go through with this. Someone will stop you eventually, Kushina. I don't think so. I've been holding back this entire time. Let me show you my true power. She releases the chains and Hiruzen falls to the ground. The chains retract into her back. She begins to concentrate. The ground starts to shake as a chakra cloak forms. However, it's not normal blue, nor Kyuubi red. The chakra cloak is black and even Hiruzen can feel the dark power Kushina is emanating. He watches in horror as tails start to form. 1 tail, 2, 3, 4. Hiruzen can barely sit up while feeling Kushina's power. A 5th tail forms, then a 6th. Hiruzen looks at Kushina in shock. This is Kushina's true power. She's right, she doesn't have much to worry about in terms of people matching her power. Only a few people can, and the one who has the best chance will never turn against her. Kushina, I can tell that I have no chance against you. For Naruto's sake, I have to warn you about a terrorist group known as Akatsuki. Their goal is to collect all the Biju. They will come for your son. Kushina blinks. She then speaks in a demonic voice. I appreciate that, old man. But I already know about the Akatsuki. Orochimaru was a former member of them. I'll deal with them later. Right now, what matters to me is this village's destruction. There's nothing I can do to convince you to stop. Nothing at all. Then, at least spare the children. Please, they don't deserve to die. You take me for a barbarian, old man. I was going to spare the children anyway. Thank you. Tell me one last thing, what is it you intend to do after this? The chakra cloak fades away. Kushina walks up to the battered form of Hiruzen Sarutobi. I intend to bring the world under my control. Once that is done, there will be no more wars, because the world will be united. All of them will be serving me. Orochimaru really changed you, didn't he? Actually, it was both Orochimaru and the 4th Hokage. They both made me realize that power is all that matters in this world. It's time for you to die, old man. This is goodbye. She raises her sword. Hiruzen just closes his eye and accepts his defeat. Goodbye, Kushina. It's good to know that Naruto will have a parent's love. The sword swings down. Hiruzen falls to the ground, dead. The cage looks at Kushina. Why didn't you make him suffer more? Because he actually tried to make Naruto's life more bearable. He deserved a quick death, at least. The cage nods. Kushina looks behind her to see Kimimaro walk up. He bows to her. You're looking better, Kimimaro. Thank you, Kushina-sama. Tsunade-sama's treatments have helped me and I will soon be back to full fighting capability. Good. Now, what's the status of the invasion? I have confirmed that the Suna and Odo forces have made their way into the city. The Sound 4 have reported that the resurrected group have taken down all the clan heads and just about all the clan members. Tsunade-sama has taken down Jiraiya. The Shukaku has destroyed 75% of the village, so far. We currently have about 50 wounded. Shizune or the rest of the medical staff are treating them. In Naruto, Naruto-sama has killed Danzo and the entire root force. He is currently on his way back here from evacuating 2 civilians. Ah, the Ichiraku family. The only enemy ninja we haven't confirmed to be dead are the most recently made genin. We think they evacuated the remaining civilians to the bunker inside the Hokage monument. Good. Once Naruto joins us, we will go to the bunker and end this. Yes, Kushina-sama. Scene change. Inside the bunker, the civilians are huddled together. The remaining members of the Konoha 12 are standing together, near the door. Well, all of them are standing, except one. Hinata is sitting in the corner, shivering in fear. Fear of the invasion force and Naruto. When Kurenai broke her of her crush for him and convinced her that he was a demon, Kurenai made one huge mistake. Naruto was Hinata's reason to stand for herself. By getting her to let go of him, she let go of whatever courage she had. She's been reduced to a whimpering coward. Ino looks at Shikamaru. What do we do now? There's nothing we can do. We wait until we're told it's safe. Scene change. Outside, the large invasion force, with Kushina and Naruto leading, march up to the bunker entrance. Gaara has retaken control of his body, by this point. Kushina looks at Naruto. Would you be so kind as to open the door, Naruto-kun? Of course, Mom. In the case of invasion, all ninja who pass the genin exam given to them by their sensei are given the code to the bunker doors, so that they can evacuate the civilians. They change the code every year, to throw spies off. Naruto types in the code and the doors open. Everyone inside turns to see the invasion force entering the bunker. They now know that their ninja have lost. Naruto takes a moment to look at the remaining members of the Konoha 12. Shikamaru, Ino, Choji, Shino, Kiba, Hinata, and Tenten. They're the only ones left. Kushina steps forward to address them. People of Konoha, your village has fallen. Your Hokage has been killed along with all of your ninja. You won't have a chance to beg for mercy or to plead with me to spare your lives. You will all die here. You all know why I'm going to kill you. Fear not for your children, I will spare them. Let them come forward, so they can be taken from here. The parents, thankful that Kushina is letting their children live, say goodbye to their kids and tell them to go to the invasion force. Some of the parents refuse to let go of their children, so Oto Ninja have to forcibly take the children away. One of the parents speaks up. Please, let them be raised in a home. Let them have a normal life. Kushina nods. The children are taken away from the bunker. Shikamaru looks at Naruto. Is this what's it's come to, Naruto? You turn against us and help destroy us. I remember that you told us that you hated people who forcibly separated children from their parents. Isn't that what you're doing, right now? We have people who will take them into their homes and raise them like they were their own children. They will be loved and cared for. That never happened with me. I was alone from day one. No one wanted to take me in. Everyone was happy with letting the demon boy suffer. I was denied everything a child should have growing up. Why don't you ask all of these villagers of the things they did to me? They'll even tell you of the things your own families have done. I've suffered so much from this disgusting village. If I go to hell, then hell for me would be my childhood all over again. The mask that he used to cover his emotions of the abuse he suffered, finally breaks. Naruto starts crying. Kushina quickly steps forward and pulls Naruto into a hug. Shish, it's okay. It's okay, Naruto. It takes almost 5 minutes for Naruto to calm down. Minato watches from where he is standing, now truly realizing the depth of what's been done to Naruto. Kushina looks at the crowd, eyes brimming in hate. I will never forgive any of you, for what you did to him. None of you will leave this bunker alive. The invasion force leaves the bunker and seal it shut, trapping the survivors inside. Naruto, are you sure you can do this? I'm okay, Mom. I can do it. Kushina turns to the resurrected group. She sends them all back to death, except for Minato. Fourth Hokage, what you will see next is the final punishment I'll force upon you before sending you back to hell. You will watch as Naruto kills everyone inside that bunker using the power of the Kyuubi. Minato's eyes widen. Naruto sits into a meditative position. Scene change. Inside his sewer mindscape, Naruto faces the Kyuubi. I'll warn you now, Kit. This will be the only time you'll be able to use my full power, until your body is truly ready to handle it without problems. I understand, Kyuubi. Scene change. Naruto's body begins to float into the air. A red chakra cloak appears around him and tails start to form. Once all 9 tails appear, Naruto is engulfed in flames. The flames get larger and larger, until they fade away to reveal a giant 9-tailed fox, standing facing the bunker. Kushina looks up at him. Do it. What looks like a black Rasengan forms inside his mouth. Minato's eyes widen, as he realizes what attack is being used. Tailed Beast Ball. He fires the attack at the bunker. There is a huge explosion that destroys the entire bunker as well as part of the Hokage monument. When the smoke clears, all that's left of the Hokage monument are the heads of the first and second Hokage. Kushina laughs. How convenient. I was going to have the heads of the third and fourth Hokages destroyed anyway. This saves some trouble. Naruto turns back to his normal form. Kushina faces Minato again. This is your punishment, fourth Hokage. Your precious village has fallen, its people dead. You'll have to carry the memories of what happened here, as well as your own involvement, back with you to hell. Enjoy your afterlife. Kushina sends him back to death. She turns to address the invasion force. Konoha has fallen. They all begin to cheer. Kushina turns to Naruto and hugs him again. They all go to celebrate their victory. 5 years later, with the fall of Konoha, it doesn't take long for the rest of High no Kuni to fall as well. Shortly after that, it spread into all the countries that were allied to Konoha, including Nami no Kuni. Kawa no Kuni, due to its location between the former High no Kuni and Kase no Kuni, also fell. Oto no Kuni has gone from being a small country that had just formed, into being the most powerful country of the elemental countries. Kabuto walks down the hall of the Otokage mansion, heading towards the throne room. Upon entering, he bows down to the person sitting in the throne. You summoned me, Kushina-sama. Yes, Kabuto. An opening has appeared that will allow us to take out Kirigakure. What is this opening? Kushina shares a glance with Naruto, who is standing to the right of her throne. The current Mizukage wants an alliance with Otogakure. She wants to set up an arranged marriage. The marriage would feature herself and Naruto-kun. What? Why would she choose Naruto-kun? Because he's my son and a marriage between the two would certainly cement an alliance. I laugh at the fact that she honestly thinks I would give Naruto-kun away in an arranged marriage. Love you too, Mom. Kushina smiles at Naruto. Though, I can't blame her for wanting to choose Naruto. He's grown up nicely. Those nice muscles, that body. Stop it. You shouldn't be having such thoughts about your own son. Kushina sighs to herself. Ever since a hot springs incident, where the two saw each other, she's been having these kind of thoughts about Naruto. Kushina-sama. Kushina jumps in surprise. Sorry about that. Anyway, Kabuto, we plan to use the marriage to get into Kirigakure. The wedding will provide the perfect distraction to throw the Kiri ninja off guard, allowing us to take them out and gain control over Kirigakure. You and Kimimaro will begin planning the number of forces we'll need to ensure complete takeover. Bring me the report when you're done. Yes, Kushina-sama. Kabuto rises and leaves the room. Naruto sighs to himself. Why do I have to be caught in this arranged marriage? I mean, I have my own preference of women. His gaze shifts to Kushina. He looks at her beautiful, flowing, red hair, her nicely shaped. He wonders if she's wearing underwear under that violet dress. Naruto shakes his head. Stop it. This is my mother. I shouldn't be having these kinds of thoughts about her. He sighs. Damn that hot springs incident. Ever since I saw her, I can't keep her out of my thoughts. What's wrong with me? He decides to distract himself. Hey, Mom, out of curiosity, why do you seem to hate Kiri? She looks at him. I never told you. Kiri was responsible for destroying the Uzumaki clan. Most people think it's Iwa who was responsible. But it's impossible. The Iwa force would have had to cross through High no Kuni, destroyed Uzushio, and then crossed back through High no Kuni, without alerting Konoha shinobi the entire time. Kiri has a much better opening to attack. Uzu no Kuni is located between High no Kuni and Mizu no Kuni. Everyone feared the power of Uzu no Kuni. So it was destroyed. Naruto growls. Those bastards. We'll make them pay, Naruto-kun. He nods at her. But thoughts of Kushina enter his mind again. He knows he needs to get away from her a while. I'm going to go train for a while. I'll see you later. He walks out of the room. Kushina watches him leave, but blushes when she realizes that she's staring at his. Damn it. It's probably a good thing he left. Who knows what could have happened if he stayed. Kushina sighs as she gets up, feeling very tired. She retires to her chambers, hoping to get some rest and to get her mind off of Naruto, for a while. She walks over to the window and looks out. She immediately regrets doing so, for her view includes one of the training grounds, which just happens to be the one Naruto chose to train at. He has taken off his overcoat, jacket, and t-shirt, leaving him topless. She unconsciously licks her lips as she watches Naruto's muscles flex, as he's training. She realizes she's staring, but she can't look away. She hangs her head as she feels a familiar ache between her legs and knows that she can't escape from what she's about to do. Kushina gets off the bed and goes into the bathroom. She turns on the shower and steps inside, sighing. There's no point in denying it. I'm falling for Naruto. My own son. I can't ever let him know. He'll hate me. He'll never want to be around me again. I must make sure he never finds out I want him like that. No matter how much it hurts to do so. She sighs as she lets the water wash away the sweat on her body. Scene change. The next day, Kushina is sitting on her throne again. Kushina-sama. She looks up to see Kabuto kneeling before her. What is it, Kabuto? Here's the report you asked for. He hands it to her and she looks over it. Excellent. Begin gathering the necessary forces. Once that's done, I'll take Naruto-kun to meet his bride. Yes, Kushina-sama. Kabuto quickly leaves the room. Kushina smiles. Soon, Kirigakure will fall, and I'll be one step closer to bring all the elemental countries under my control. In the office of the Mizukage, Mei Terumi sighs as she listens to her advisors. Mizukage-sama, please reconsider. They will destroy us. Mei sighs. Will you two stop? I'm not going to change my mind. It's the best chance we have to have peaceful relations with Otogakure. They have no interest in peace. All they want is to conquer. Just look at what happened to Konohagakure. You have no way of knowing that. Besides, Konoha's destruction was due to the things they did to the Otokage's son. We've done nothing like that, so we should be fine. The advisors shift nervously. Okay, what are you two not telling me? Well, in the last war, we just might have been responsible for destroying the Otokage's homeland. What? Why did we do that? Well, the Uzumaki clan was feared by all the villages. They had abilities and techniques that surpassed many of the ones found in other villages. The Mizukage, at the time, chose to strike them down. Why wasn't I informed of this when I took office? We had convinced the rest of the villages that Iwa was responsible. We thought we could let the knowledge die away. Mei sighs again. Get out, you two. I'm not going to change my mind. Why? Because this might be the best way to show that we want to rectify that. Now, get out. The two advisors leave. Mei sits back to do more paperwork. Scene change. I hate having to dress in formal clothes. I do too, Naruto. But you don't hear me complaining. So put on the damn kimono. Naruto grumbles at his mother, before grabbing the kimono and walking into the bathroom. He comes back out, dressed in the kimono. Kushina smiles at him. You look so cute in that kimono. Mom. Kushina laughs as she and Naruto travel to the cart that will transport them to Kiri. Scene change. Mei looks up as there is a knock on her door. Come in. The door walks in and one of her ninja walks in. Mizukage-sama, we've confirmed that the Otokage and her son are on their way here. Very good. Return to your post. Yes, ma'am. The ninja leaves. Mei sits back to think. Oh, I can't wait to meet my future husband. From everything I've heard and seen, he sounds like a hot stud. She giggles perversely, before getting back to her paperwork. Scene change. Achoo. Someone must be talking about you, Naruto. The Uzumaki duo are riding in their cart, on the way to Kiri. So, what's the plan, Mom? Well, we'll arrive in Kiri, pretending like we want to go through with the wedding. We'll use the wedding as an excuse to sneak in some of our forces. The rest will wait outside the village, until the invasion. I understand, Mom. Kushina smiles, before pulling Naruto into a hug. You really are into giving me hugs, Mom. Can you blame me? I've missed out on 12 years of hugs. Naruto rolls his eyes, before relaxing in his mother's embrace. The convoy from Odo continues on its way.